Yeah, buddy.
Man, lucky number 36 already?
Yes,
Sheesh. I'll
sir.
take
Yes,
it.
sir.
I will take it. Welcome to the Freedom Cage podcast, where we lock into a free state of mind each and every pay week on all DSPs, of course. And to my right, I got my main guy, my ace. My left and my right is weak, Shawn, better known as Mr. Seniorly on all your socials.
You know.
And me, I'm Kenny, man, also known as King Kapnick on all those socials. But yeah, man, it's March 1st. Officially Women's Month.
Yes, it is, man. Women's History Month,
Oh,
man.
man.
Shout out to the ladies.
Shout out to the ladies, man. Those that have passed, those in front of us, and those that continue to lead the path for the future.
That's right.
We salute you, as always. But yeah, man, Black History Month is officially behind us. But how have you been? How are your last couple weeks?
Last couple weeks were good. The events that we did at work, super attendance. We actually did like a Family Feud version of, Black History questions. I got to play Steve Harvey,
I
man.
was just about to ask you, who's Steve Harvey? Did you wear the suit or you just showed up regular?
Nah, I had to do it in my way.
I got
You know what I'm
got
saying?
As you
I
should,
couldn't
as you
find
should.
nothing with enough buttons.
Yeah. That nigga, he cleaning the button shop up. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean?
All the
Okay.
buttons were gone.
Okay, that's what's up though. But otherwise, good week. Had some decent weather. Last Tuesday was weird. That 2022 popped up.
Facts.
Fucking social media, all the little conspiracy theories. But yeah, man, it came and went. I wish I was able to snatch a taco on a special day, but I wasn't. I think I had some
Yeah.
pork chops. But yeah, man. And other unfortunate current world news. Putin's wilding, my nigga.
Yeah.
He's very stern in his stance. I don't know if he's going to be backing down anytime soon, but is there where's cancel culture when you need them?
There's a certain thing as being above cancel, and Putin is definitely up there. He's that upper echelon. I mean, at this point, hey, listen, I'm no political science major or anything
Neither am
like
I.
that. It's nerve wracking because it's like the hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, if it's not a pandemic, it's sanctions or now imminent war. It seems there's just no breaks. I'm telling you, since Kobe passed, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, man. He set off a world chain that we've yet to recover from. But
That's a fact.
I don't know. I can't link it together. I'm not sure what would resolve all this, but NATO and the states as well are up in arms over it, as they should be. He's unfortunately authorizing unfortunate killings to civilians that got nothing to do with the issue at hand for his power thirst. But condolences, and I hope this ends a lot quicker than it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, the steps he's taken already have definitely set off a chain of events that, we're just praying, similar to what you said. But interestingly enough, remember the Klitschko boys?
Yes, sir.
So they actually are in the Ukraine right now. And I believe Vladimir,
He's the mayor or something.
exactly, of Kyiv,
Right? Yes.
formerly known as Kiev. Or
Kiev,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
These pronunciations of show.
Forgive
we
me,
apologize.
guys.
We
Yes,
apologize
yes.
in the beginning. I'm learning
Yes.
these counties and states as you are. I've never been. So
Yeah.
and my Google Maps don't go that far. So yeah. Just please excuse us on the pronunciations, but just roll with us.
Yeah. So the Klitschko brothers are ready. Like, Vladimir is actually ready to enlist, and then Vladimir, he is actually taking up arms himself. So
That's a scary sight. They were scary with just 10 fingers. So if them boys want to pick up their big guns and hit the front lines, power to them, but Godspeed as well, because that's not a place to play around. It's not a ring. It's not sanctioned. It's not 3-minute rounds. It's a life or death thing now at this point if you're putting yourself on that front line.
yeah,
So
pride for country, man. I'm pretty sure them guys understand that. And if anybody's ready for that, it's got to be those two.
for sure.
Yeah.
On a side note,
Mm-hmm.
I like to look at this. I like to look at the same situation from different angles. Like with it being 2022 and Putin having the history of all world wars at his disposal as far as strategy to take, what to do, what not to do. On a terrible, devilish sense, like if you were to invade a space, he's doing it as strategic as you possibly can. As far as attacking from all sides, like I don't commend it, I definitely don't condone it, but there's a 0.0001% that fake appreciates his terrible process in the way he's doing this. Like, but
Mm.
it's just weird because as time evolves, like everything evolves with it, including how you would strategize in a situation like this,
Mm-hmm.
which is just scary though. But I don't know. I don't even know how to attack that, but if there's a fake slight appreciation for the route he did that I don't condone, but I understand if he's that far fetched and needs it to happen. But Biden got to do something a lot quicker than just a couple of sanctions.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, freezing banks is crucial,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I mean, I'm same thing to your point with strategy, right? I'm pretty sure there's some liquid funds somewhere that you know it's terrible. I
that's
mean,
what
at the end of the day, we're talking about people that are displaced right now, people losing their lives.
hmm
You know, prayers to Ukraine,
Yeah,
man.
man. Hopefully, they get out of it. But back to local stateside news on a social justice tip. We will say his name for those that forgot or just happened not to recall. But Duante Wright, he was murdered unfortunately in a traffic stop in April of 21. The cop out in Minnesota, what's her name? Kim Potter. She was recently sentenced for 2 years in prison. But my question to you is: do you agree with the length of time, or do you disagree with it?
Disagree.
Why?
Um, when we give someone a badge, the assumption is that they understand the difference between the weight and feel of the service weapon, the
Mm-hmm.
actual weapon with bullets, and the taser.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've never held a taser,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if they have some extreme similarity. But in this particular case, it's a poor sense of judgment in a situation where I didn't see there was an imminent threat to her life.
Correct.
Worst case scenario, and we spoke about this, if he peels off, you can call for backup. You guys will find him in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
We got the plate. We know what you look like.
yeah. Because as far as I know, the minute they pull anybody over, they immediately let dispatch know where they're at.
Correct.
And I think a backup car just knows
Usually,
about it just in
usually
case.
shows up within 10 minutes if things
Exactly.
go awry.
Right. What is the worst case scenario if he pulls off? He gets into an accident. He probably hits someone. I get it. You know, we're trying to keep the situation where it is and protect everybody else. But we're also dealing with someone who's been given a service weapon, who's been on the force for a while, that made a fatal mistake.
Mm-hmm.
2 years? That's not enough.
It's not enough. Who was it? I think one of the city girls in Miami got about 2 years for like fraud.
Mm.
You know, not that it's a victimless crime, but it was more of a white collar crime, so to speak. You know what I mean? But taking the life of one that was just unwarranted, and then calling it a tragic mistake is just it can't be tolerated. But I'm happy there was some sort of justice, because not that I'm happy with anything at this point, but I've been given nothing a lot. So these little crumbs and cookies, you unfortunately just got to take them as they're given. But definitely more time should have definitely been sanctioned down for this kind of issue. But like you said, with training, the weights are extremely different. But not only the weight, like if your dominant hand is usually going to be the hand of your service weapon, your non-dominant hand is usually the side where where the taser would be.
Okay.
If your dominant hand is going for the gun, then you know that's where the gun is. Right? You know what I'm saying? There should be no confusion there. They're on two separate sides of your body. It's not as if one is right next to the, but you know that's here or there. Condolences as well to the family once again, to the Wrights. But
Yeah,
justice
they were
was served.
extremely upset.
Yeah, as they should be. But justice is served on a slight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. What's going on here at Howard University?
Yeah, so this is really cool. Howard University got a $2 million grant to digitize a major collection of black newspaper archives. Now, why this is so cool is because right now these are like, like hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like print. Mixing up words, right? So they're going to take these print newspapers, digitize them. So now easy access. You can get on your phone. You'll be able to pull up some of the most prominent articles by black newspaper companies from probably, decades ago. So this is really cool because as we're talking about access to information and spreading diverse culture and awareness, this just adds value to that.
Correct, especially with kids growing up. It's a little tougher for them to grab the physical book. I can't even tell you the last time I seen a kid or a teenager with a physical newspaper in their hand. I haven't honestly, but it's a cool way to kind of introduce I guess journalists of the past, so to speak, especially those of people of color, especially if it was a black newspaper initiative that started it. But that's super dope. I just hope it catches some sort of blaze because, unfortunately, also with today's society, news today, tomorrow's a whole nother day. You know, what I mean, people are very forgetful quickly. So, only thing I'm worried about is once they are finished with the digitization of the old newspaper archives, is that there's some sort of commingling with today's news versus the old news to keep it interesting, to make people want to go back to read these old articles. Because outside of history books that people don't even really grab, so to speak, anymore, they just Google something if they need it specifically. Outside of that, though, people rarely tend to dig into an old newspaper. But like you said, hopefully making it handheld handy, they'll actually do that and get the ball rolling. But that'll be super dope. Can't wait for that to actually come to fruition. A question segment. I was frequenting my local shop not too long ago, and an interesting topic came up that I want to kind of bounce off you. If you were in a relationship for X amount of years with a partner, but the partner's ex becomes bothersome, up to the point where they would send gifts to your current partner that are a bit more lavish than they should be. I'm not talking like we've known each other for years kind of ex. So here's a birthday card sort of thing. I'm like super extravagant gifts that are well beyond what they was. You know what I mean? Like, how do you approach that situation? Like currently, can you just go punch him in the face? Like,
I mean, that's depending on your age. That's
all right, give me the 25 and down, and give me the 25 and up.
25 and down. It's a situation. Like we're talking about pulling up on you, like somebody probably going to jail or somebody getting like really really hurt. We're talking about 25 and down. 25 and up, man. It depends. We got some 25 and ups that'll still pull up.
That's a fact. That's a
but
fact.
if we're talking about concern for your future, concern for the simple fact that you're happy in the marriage, is just this one situation, it's tough, man. For me personally, I would hope that my wife would address the situation with the dude, because that's the point of contact. You know what I mean? I wouldn't expect my wife to have to check any female if a female was doing too much for me. But now, of course, there's the question of she's checked him and he's still sending gifts.
What do you do now?
At that point, it's time to have a conversation with dude and really get down to the bottom of, where is this coming from? Now, of course, depending on what side of the coin he's on, whether he is willing to have a man-to-man conversation or if it's just a, dude, I'm going to do whatever I want. Yeah. You're just going to have to deal with it. In that particular situation, it strains the relationship. The only thing I could think of is, just really having to, I don't know, man. I don't know if the marriage is going to last.
Yeah?
Because for me personally, all right, so let me ask another question. Was this like always a thing, or did it just like suddenly come out of nowhere?
I believe the situation specifically, it kind of just popped up out of nowhere. It might have happened after, like, the existing relationship going to the next stage or the next level. You know what I mean? They strengthened their commitment, and they kind of let the world know about it. So it could be a jealousy thing that kind of kickstarted the whole. Let me just start giving extravagant gifts to my ex now all of a sudden, but it was more recent than as of late. You know what I mean? And if it was something that would have been in play from the time you've been in the picture, that's one thing. Hopefully you guys could have nipped it in the butt back then when you first started, but it was years that have passed with the situation. So it's might be more of a spiteful thing at this point.
Yeah, because that's super weird. That is super weird for an ex to just, randomly start sending gifts to their ex. And I've found, at least for black males, you got to protect your sanity. You got to protect your energy. if you find yourself in a situation where the only response is to harm someone because they're just not listening, then how are you supposed to feel comfortable in that?
Very true. You can't continue to leave yourself or put yourself in that kind of situation or circumstance where that can ever happen. Especially as an adult, like you said, if you're under 25, pull up probably. But you know, if you're an adult with like real life obligations and deadlines and things to do tomorrow, and people are looking for you, so to speak,
Yeah.
you got to play the diplomatic game and be super corporate or cordial, and hopefully come to a means to an end quietly, because you really don't want to go down that path because there's really no end. And like you said, you got to protect your peace. So if any negativity is going to come from it, it would suck to have to let go of a situation that you fell in love with, and due to the past of the partner, you feel you can't go on with it. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, man, because it sucks for the girl, right? It's not her fault. And then you're not just gonna relocate because somebody's sending gifts. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna make her change her job. That's stupid. So the best you can do is say, yo, if this situation doesn't handle itself, then I'm gonna have to remove myself from the situation because I just don't see, especially if you're a prideful man, right? I don't see being able to survive in that situation. Like you got gifts popping up at the crib on a constant basis. And then and then especially it's even worse if the female keeps some like stuff from you.
Correct. Yeah, you definitely don't want to cause that rift between a relationship, especially a union of any sort.
And the same for males, ladies. Like if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd understand if you walked away.
Now it's funny with I can't give the one perspective, but I would have to move the age up. Like 20, I said 25. I said 25, and 25 and down. Might be more willing to pull up 25 and over. May want to have a conversation, but for a woman, it might be
35.
Shit, I was almost go to 40.
I was thinking that too.
Like 40 and down, a female might still pull up to protect their current union. You know what I'm saying? Like over 40, like what, the knees ain't clicking like they used to. You know what I mean? I don't fancy the high heels as much. Maybe you know what I'm saying, but nonetheless, I'm curious to know you guys' feedback on that. On what would be the best way to approach a situation like this if your current partner's ex popped up and it started just displaying gifts. What do? You can't, like you said, can't go beat them up, but being cordial, hopefully, bring it to an end. But we shall see. We shall see. Over to the quick business/politics tab. Jay-Z does it again somehow. Like, I don't know how he ends up in all these business meetings in and out. I did see not too long ago he just settled with the perfume company. They owe him a couple million, for some bad chit-chat. But sports merchandise company Fanatics was just got bought by an investor group that include Jay. I believe Meek Mill was in it, the owner of Philly as well. I keep forgetting his name when I need it. Mike Rubin. But he was there. But yeah, the deal was valued at about $250 million. But I'm curious to know, was it more of did they just buy it to save the company, or was it just more of an investment where they feel they could take it to new and better heights? I'm curious to know where it goes.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. I mean, it's got to be dope for them, right? Like you think about the era of hip hop when everybody was wearing a throwback jersey to now own the company. I mean, that's big. Now you're literally making your childhood dreams come through.
Facts.
I mean, come true. Think about it. That would be like if we got sponsored by Jordan tomorrow. I'm getting every Jordan that I never got.
Everything. Originals too.
Yeah, and two sizes. Facts. You know what I mean? Just one to just frame somewhere and the other one to wear.
Big fact. That's a big fact. That's for sure. Yep. But yeah, it should be dope nonetheless. I hope Fab was involved. He needs an honorary something, like I mean. He did a lot for the Jersey game when it was relevant.
I'm pretty sure he's a silent investor in a couple businesses out there, man.
He's gotta be because I'm still looking for music for that boy. I don't know. He just be outside all the time
with everything on. New.
That's Fab, man.
Fab is a silent investor. He's a silent assassin. Nobody knows what he's doing, but he is doing it big.
Somewhere. More unfortunate, I guess criminal business, as they would say. But a street gang, unfortunately, out here in Brooklyn, a name that I can't recall, but they were recently nabbed for pocketing a little over 4 million in pandemic relief
I think it
benefits.
was the Wu.
Was it?
I think it was the Wu gang.
Doing a little,
Yeah,
doing a
man.
little two step. If you clear that amount of money, I understand with the young kids these days on social media, it has to be on Front Street no matter what's being done. 100,000, all right, we could probably flaunt
Yeah,
this. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But if you surpass a couple million, I think it's time to hit a new country with a new name. I don't think it's what else you gonna do at this point? Like, you know what I'm saying? Granted, I'm running with a lot of friends and neighborhood people I grew up with to be in this gang, but if the gang's purpose was to create or to bring some sort of influx of cash flow into the neighborhood, you got the cash. I don't think they ever thought of what happens when we get the cash. I think they was just happy chasing the cash itself.
Yeah.
So now that you got the cash, you do stupid shit. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I want to say close to 15 people got locked up over it. But young people, man, don't flaunt everything, man. It's not worth it. The people that are seeing whatever you're doing online, half of them probably don't have any good intentions for it and for you anyway. So be careful on what you do, and
Yeah.
just please don't not with this amount of money on the line. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah, I mean it's a different world, man. The pictures with and the videos with money and all of that, like that's the new norm. Like I'm trying to think what was the equal to that at our age, like maybe bottles in the club, um, watches, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I think the craziest thing from my clubbing era was when I started seeing people burning $100 bills. That's when I knew I had to stop coming. I
Oh,
was like, I'm not a part of this
I can't.
culture.
I'm not ready for that.
Like, I'm
Mm-mm.
all for getting a bottle or two or three, but you starting to burn the money that you're gonna use to nah, man. I at that
I,
point I was like, time out.
I'm jealous you was even in the aura of that. I've never seen anybody put a lighter
Yeah,
to a
man.
green bill. Ooh,
Yeah.
God, no.
But
Videos I've seen, rappers. That's cool.
yeah.
Not real life.
But in the sense of this, I mean, listen, I really I know there's scammers out there, whatever the case may be, per se. There's stuff going on out there and people are doing it. What you have to understand though is that anything that has to do with relief, like it's like people didn't learn from Wyclef with the whole Haitian Relief Fund.
Mm,
They don't play games when it comes to relief funds, right?
nah.
The government tracks that shit better than they track your taxes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like they are gonna come back for everybody who filed anything and make sure that they get their piece
Mm-hmm.
because everything had fine print saying this is temporary and at some point you're either gonna have to pay it back with the PPP loans or you're gonna have to make proof that whatever you got from the government was legitimately for why you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who made like real money during this time, and
Mm-hmm.
I looked at them like, yo, you
I,
know what I'm
I get
saying?
it,
Like,
but
all right,
a lot of people turn the
let me see
pandemic.
you in 2 years,
You know what I mean?
man.
Yeah, a lot of people turn the pandemic to a pandemic, and
Yo,
now it's just gonna be a clinic in jail,
mm,
just trying to get out on time. But a separate item here on the politic tip. Um, everybody's guy who they love to hate. The governor out in Texas, Mr. Greg Abbott. He directed state agencies to investigate a few transgender medical treatments, and he wants them to classify it as child abuse.
mm,
Now, like I don't like the guy honestly. He has a ton of takes that I don't like as far as LGBTQ communities and just abortion. His take on a lot of things just aren't very forward thinking. And I'm not siding with him on this, but I see a little glimpse of what he may be saying. As far like me personally, my take on it, if a child, your child, who's ever a child, if they're going some sort of gender transition, I'm all for that. Let them live their truth. Support them in every way you can, 1,000%. You know what I mean? That's what you are to be as a parent. But I will step in and say, as far as let them live that life or light as far as it takes them. If as soon as they want to introduce surgeries or hormonal drugs, So I fake got to put my foot down and say, listen, as soon as you turn 18, if you're still serious and committed in this transition, I'll take you to the doctor myself. We'll get this done. But up until that point, and not that they're a full adult, but just you feel 18's more of a, you can make better conscious decisions as a child. You hope, you know what I mean? You hope your child would. But I think meds and surgeries should not start until 18. But my question to you with that is, how do you feel about how involved a parent should be in the, I guess, the disassociation of one gender and walking into the next?
Um, this is a tough conversation because it involves the level of education, awareness, and acceptance of the parents,
Mm-hmm.
right? As far as their involvement.
Mm-hmm.
If they have all three down pack or they're working through all three, but they're open to it, then they should be walking with the child step by step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in regards to having them wait till 18, this is a tough conversation because the number one thing I'm concerned about is if they start this treatment early, are there psychological evaluations? Because I know they're done for any time a procedure like this is done.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime transitional surgery is done, they have to go through the psych process before they can even step into a consultation and then even get to the step of an actual operation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can someone under the age of 18 go through that process fully understanding what's happening? I don't know. Because I do know we send kids under the age of 18 to college because they're very smart and they're very aware.
Correct.
So there is a level of understanding for kids in that age to take a grown-up step as an 18-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in academia. Are we saying that in a complete transitional change, which I know does not equate to a college education, but we're talking about mindset, which is what I get from most people when they talk about before doing something like this before 18. Are we saying that kids should not be able to make this decision before 18? I'm open to any discussion about it. I don't have a yes or a no.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it should be a intense, ongoing conversation with the kid that's under 18. And if they're adamant about it, the fear is that if you make them wait till 18, the minute they have the chance, they can emancipate and just straight up be like, fuck you. You I told you since I was 15 I wanted to do this. You didn't support me, so I'm going to go out on my own and do what I got to do. Now you've lost your child forever. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, you can't really make, like you said, you can't make the decision for them, but you as a legal guardian, you are able to have a little bit of say up until that last, I mean, up until that actual 18th birthday, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like you said, it's a sticky situation that does require a ton of research, a lot of love, and a couple more hugs than the average child would probably receive.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man.
I pray.
I pray though, like you said, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. But yeah, love yours, love everyone, but live your life as well. Just over explain that some things are just irreversible. As far as procedures and certain meds, you can't get them out your system as quick as they go in. So just be mindful. But it is what it is.
Yep.
Fuck Greg Abbott. Talk to me, man.
Yes.
Are we still here? Are we?
We still here, man. We still here. Listen, I'm so sorry, guys. I know last episode we were on the up and up. You know, Pandelina Spice update from Freedom Cage Podcast. We thought we were out of the woods, people. We really thought, you know what I mean? They were starting to limit where you had to wear a mask. It was looking good, and then we got this new COVID variant, BA2. It reinfects people who had BA1. When I tell you, people, I'm literally at the point where this is stuff that I look at every day, and I'm just like, just let me know if I'm gonna have a summer or not. Like that's all I need the CDC to tell me, because every time the same thing happened in August of 2021, we were this close to stepping out, companies were thinking about Christmas parties. People were trying to get together for the holidays, and then bomb, Omicron just hit September with a gut punch, and it was downhill from there. Here we are, cases are down, everything's looking good, and then boop, BA2, be on the lookout.
Back on the scene, new version of the same death. I don't know, like I personally I just embraced it at this point. Like, yo, COVID's there. You might get it, might not, but you still got to go do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just becoming one with it at this point. I can't you can't really fight it anymore. It's gonna be there. I just keep my mask on me. It's really no more you could do after that. Like there's no more you could do. It's just scary because every time, like you said, every time the numbers drop, people get a little lax. But if we keep the permanent mask thing going, vaccines are forever optional. I'm happy it's a higher rate of those choosing to do it. But just keep your mask on, man. That's all we could do. And I can't even say that they 100% work. But
yeah, but like I know people who wear their mask all day and got reinfected with COVID. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it is literally to the point where either these vaccines are gonna work or not.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of, yes, if it's a crowded area, keep your mask on.
For sure.
But they have really limited everything to just pure confusion. And then people have gotten this new booster, gotten sick. And then on the topic of the new booster now in New York State, there is no longer a mandate due to the fact of staff shortages.
Now you kind of cut your nose to spite your face. Like, we see that there's a shortage in employees. We understand nobody wants to work because the pay rate has dropped a bit. You know what I mean? So people's unemployment is still clicking for them. There's no point. Like, it's tough to find employees at work. I get it. But if you're willing to look the other way on a COVID booster or a vaccine, it's like, are we here to help? Are we just here to cope? Are we here to mold? It's just confusion. It's just pure confusion.
Yeah. And we just fired a ton of people because they didn't want to get vaccinated. What are we doing? Like, you got to be consistent. There's been no consistency with these policies.
Correct.
It's a joke. Literally, the Friday before, the 21st was a holiday, bro. Everybody had their appointment set for the 18th. I knew at least 4 people that had their appointment for Friday morning to get the notification at, I think it came through around 1 or 2 o'clock.
Okay. No
longer mandated. And all 4 of those people right now are sick after the booster.
Damn.
Can you imagine? Like, it's disgusting. Like, make up your mind. You knew there were going to be staff shortages. Kathy Hochul was just talking about bringing in the National Guard to supplement, physicians and nurses. I don't know who's running this country anymore, let alone our state.
Like, it's the most what's the opposite word of united? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that there's different rules from state line to state line just concerning a mask or not is weird. Man. It's weird. Like, you know what I mean? We are the United States, but everyone does their own fucking thing, and it's a little, it's crazy. It's the wild, wild west in the bubble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody just, I don't know. Good luck once again. Wear your mask if you got one.
Yeah, man.
Just, hey, man, stay safe out there, man.
Good luck, guys.
Stay safe.
I'm
sorry. We wish you the best, but we have no real clear answer for you. New segment?
Yeah, man. So here we are, man. This is going to be FCP Minute News. We are going to set the clock. All right? We have 1 minute to give you all of our new updates that are random. And you ready, brother? I'm going to start it off with the first one, and then I think the next couple of you.
Talk to me.
All right. So, starting a minute.
2, 1.
Here we go. So, Delta Airlines, they are starting a buy now, pay later plan. Flyers may have 3 to 6 months to pay off the bill. Must use Delta's American Express card planet feature. So this is great if you're trying to get a quick flight to DR, but you don't want to pay all of that shit right when you get it.
I see niggas taking one-way flights and never coming back.
Hell
It's
yeah.
gonna be crazy. Next thing, Jeffrey Epstein associate Jean-Luc Brunel was found dead in his cell. If you sound familiar, it's because it's not the first person. That's what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Niggas is dying, niggas getting picked off, and another 15 to 20 years when this documentary come out, bro, these celebrities that are out here is gonna be
I
fucking
agree.
nuts. It's crazy. One last thing here for the next topic. Out in San Fran, a woman was assaulted, called the cops. They came, did DNA swaps, and they used her DNA to arrest her for an old crime she did. How is that real or not? Time check. Where we at?
Yeah, man. That's it.
That's it, man. That's it.
You made it
That's
just in time,
that
man.
is it, man. But
Yeah,
I
so-
don't know, man. That karma's coming full circle on that criminal thing. That's fucked up. That's
Oh,
fucked
man,
up.
you got to be careful out here, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Today's victim is tomorrow's criminal. I
Every
don't
time.
know.
Sometimes it's in reverse. Sometimes it's in reverse.
That's true.
But last week, Mr. Kanye West, yay,
Yes.
twofold. He did a couple things this past week that I personally was happy for him. He did a couple things this week that I was sad for him for. But two things that he did that I truly enjoyed. This Netflix documentary that he currently has out. I missed the first episode when it originally dropped, but when the second one came out, I was able to watch them both back to back. And me just being a fan of the musical genius that he is, I truly appreciated the documentary. Me holding his first album in high praise, to see a lot of the elements come together, and those that were big then, and he wasn't that big, kind of almost built him up to the guy that he is today. Like, it was really cool to see, man. I'm happy the guy, fucking Cootie with the camera, nigga, 2 decades just chasing your man Ye around with a camera, just asking questions and shit, and for it to turn into this, it's just an amazing thing. Did you get to see it at all by any chance?
Yes, I did. I still got to complete. What is it? There's 2 of them out already.
Yes.
Yeah.
2's out. I think the third one comes out in a few days.
Yeah, so I got to finish the first one and then check out the second one. But I agree with you. I think it shows in his music. He's always had a vision 10, 20 years ahead of everybody. I mean, just look at I know the next topic you're going to talk about is going to be big about that as well. But just to see what he thought he was going to be back then, it's inspirational to the kids and
Yes.
anybody who watches it, that you can have a dream and people won't believe in it and you can still succeed. So I hope that any young person that watches his documentary, it gives you some insight into how he got where he is. And it also gives you a foundation of why he is who he is now.
Relentless confidence.
Yes.
It got him to where he is today, but it's funny, on the underside of that spectrum, that same confidence that puts him where he is today, to be the billionaire fashion mogul, music producer, rapper, billionaire essentially on paper, feels like it kind of blew up in his face at points in time. You know what I mean? Where his we take his genius for granted and forget. This was also a guy who happened to lose his mom at a critical point in his life, who currently just lost his wife. Not lost his wife, but separated from his wife technically as of late. And not that it's spiraling out of control, but it always seems like he's able to maintain in the chaos. I don't know, man. Kudos to him for trying to keep up. I love the future run he's on. As far as he left the house of the family. He's just crashing, bro. You know what I mean? Crashing things that that should be crashed, but nonetheless it's Ye. So we gotta let Ye do Ye. Cool. Another caveat that he did. It seems at this current moment in his life, he's over the streaming services, so to speak. So what he did was he sold something called a STEM device to those to hear his new album Donda 2. He presented it back on the 22nd out in Miami, Florida. He did the whole stadium thing. It was super dope to see. He brought a lot of elements that you just wouldn't imagine seeing. So you end up watching a 90-minute video, so to speak. Him just displaying all the new works. But it's just cool to see his vision pan out. Like, towards the end, the sound shit fucked up on him. But it's part of the live experience. It is what it is. But I'm more questioning the whole STEM player, only way we're going to hear this fucking album. Because there's a couple joints that he played that I would like to play in my car.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just want to know what's phase B of this. Like, if everyone doesn't have a STEM player, we'll just never get that music? Like no, somebody has to put that on LimeWire or something. No, like
Listen, man. This is where that genius, like you said, sometimes blows up in his face. But then maybe he sees something 10, 20 years from now that we're not seeing right now. We're just thinking about I ain't spending $200. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
It's
all be thinking about. Like I'm not spending $200 for
um,
you to drop male songs whenever you want
yeah,
to. But
yeah.
as a fan though, if Kanye West did want to drop a song in the middle of nowhere, and you the only one that had access to it. Can you really be a true fan that you are if you and only how many of those things he sold? I think he sold like maybe 10,000 of them. You only 10,000 people got to hear. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's tough to fan when you're the only fan fanning.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Oh man. Was there anything else with the Kanye thing I want to bring up? No, man. I think he's a crazy genius. More crazy than genius right now, but still a crazy genius. I can't wait to see the third part of the little trilogy that he has on Netflix. Something else that I saw that caught my eye. We haven't done this in a while, but it being Women's Month, we have a quick appreciation for the Texas A&M women's basketball coach. She was under fire from media because they felt the outfits that she was bringing to the court um, wasn't very head coach like. I'm doing air quotes for those who can't see this, but I personally love the outfit. She's a bit of a fashionista, but she's a damn good coach as well. So her being a black woman and being a bit more shapely than any other women's coach, it drew attention to those that felt they had something that whatever they thought whatever they would say would be important. And long story short, she shot that down. She let them know just know that at the end of the day, she's a black woman and she can't hide the fact that she is that. But she will continue to make those feel uncomfortable if you don't like her fashion choices. And I commend her for it. Her outfits honestly have been fire, in my opinion. Every time I do happen to catch one of their games, but kudos for standing in her light, what she's doing, and keep it going, man. Have you been able to see any of the fits though, by any chance?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's funny when I saw it, I didn't know there was a big stink about it. It was more like a, like you said, stand in your pride, stand in your light type post when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But now hearing you talk about that, I mean, they're always going to be mad at the person who stands out the most. Like I know someone who literally at their job, because they were shapely and they wore fitting clothes, they were always talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But they were always talked about by the people who envied the way that they looked because they
Correct.
had the attention of
Mm-hmm.
everyone else.
Very
So
true.
I'm pretty sure this is some person who's just mad because she looks good
Mm-hmm.
and she's proud to show it. It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, hopefully the media will gravitate to things and find better ways to embrace and uplift things versus throwing a negative light on it and trying to shun someone for doing nothing but their job, honestly, at the end of the day. Like, the clothes don't make the person, or the book isn't the cover, or has, I can't remember the fucking phrase. But
Yeah,
the
don't
book
judge
doesn't
a
make the
book
cover.
by its cover. Yeah.
There you go. That's right on the right hand man. But yeah, man, media has to grow up to some extent. Like you can't just go, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" every time you see something that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Embrace it. If you have a question, ask one, but you can't be negative about it. You got to move on.
I
Uh,
mean, and at the same time, you got what is it, 8, 9 girls on the court in pom poms in the shortest skirts.
mhm.
Like, what are we saying? As
But
long as they're screaming and cheering, they can be dressed whatever way they want. But if they're on the coach and they're on the sideline coaching, oh, you got to dress this way.
everybody was fine with it until it was a leadership role involved.
Crazy.
She's head coach, so everybody feels the head coach has to do a certain stigmas are being broken every day. From Dion to this, just what you saw yesterday is not going to happen tomorrow. But you got to be ready to absorb whatever that is and move on with it. But you can't hate everything that's new because you'll never grow. To be honest with you. Harking back on the Super Bowl, I think we recorded right before the game, but in the post week of course, the Rams taking it all. Matthew Stafford had a us moment, unfortunately. I'm not talking about the 1942 on stage. That might be more of your heyday, but there was a moment when there was a photographer. She seemed to be backing up and take the perfect photo of Matt and I believe his wife at the time. But she kept backing up, waiting to catch the perfect angle. And unfortunately, one foot went a little too far, and she happened to be on the stage, and she fell down.
Mm.
Unfortunately, for Matt Stafford, it was a Super Bowl parade, so there was about 50 HD cameras all aimed at the stage at the same time, and Matt Stafford did the innocent little item that I think anybody would do if you're just walking in the street. You see someone trip and fall, you kind of go, "Oh man!" You kind of turn your head quick, hoping you didn't see what you just saw, but you've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, if it's an old lady, you would go help them. But if it's like a kid, running and busting a knee open, you might giggle and keep it moving. But Matt Stafford totally he botched this one as a Super Bowl quarterback with 50 cameras on you, bro.
He said, "Listen."
He turned around a little too fast when she fell, as if he had nothing to do with it. Like he wasn't the person getting the photo of. But Matt Stafford definitely had a us moment when he chose to just turn his back on the photographer.
So, so was there continuous footage? Do we know if the photographer's okay? Like, because that stage looked pretty high.
Bro, she had like a backotomy or some shit like that. Like it was bad. Like you know what I mean? She had like spinal issues and shit.
Yee.
But I told there was a GoFundMe that shit shot through the roof.
Jeez.
So the medical expenses should be paid for. But she should be back for the next season.
I
makes
hope
any
so,
sense.
man.
But yeah, hopefully Matt gives her like a signed jersey or something because that was cold. That was some cold shit. Talk to me, man. What happened with the NBA?
Oh my God, NBA All-Star Weekend, man. This. All right, so
lackluster. Go ahead. Talk to me.
So I missed Friday, right? Friday I was out with the wife. You know what I mean? So I missed the usual game that happens on Friday, the celebrity game.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Myles Garrett went off. And then of course I believe I don't know if it's still USA versus international or rooks versus sophomores, but I heard, the rookies really went at it and it was a good game.
I missed that, of course, unfortunately.
Then there's Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's just say thank you for the 3-point contest.
Yes.
Thank you for the 3-point contest. Carl Towns, I mean, he showed out.
Yeah. Big man on scene.
He may be the best big man shooter we ever see.
Yeah.
But skills challenge. See, I'm a big fan of innovation, but some things need to be left alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't remix every song. You know what I mean? Or let me rephrase that. You can remix every song, but it's not going to be good all the time, right? They added some new stuff to the skills challenge I wasn't a fan of. But, hey, the home team ended up winning it. Shout out to the boys over there at Cleveland. I think they doing a great thing over there, and they're going to be something to watch in the playoffs. But this dunk contest, bro, I'm going to let you go first, and then...
Yeah. There was a point during the dunk contest where I had to question myself. I'm like, I know this is more than 3 tries. Because I just felt like they were getting unlimited opportunity to complete these weird dunks that weren't like they were super creative. Somebody had some Timbs on. Somebody went around the back on one of them, but it wasn't. They need to cap it to some extent, like whether it was. They say you have to have full control of the ball, but if you miss the dunk at the very end, that's an actual attempt. But these dudes was losing control of the ball before they even got to the rim, so the shit didn't count. But mind you, there's a packed house. Everybody's at their TV watching. The judges are waiting. 75 of the greatest to ever do it are in the fucking building, and they're just like, he missed another one, and we're still waiting for him to do another one. I can't give you the dude's name, but he had about 40 attempts at this one dunk.
Jalen Green.
Oh my God! And I'm happy they served all 6s on him.
Yeah.
Because it's like at some point you just got to just go up there and put in the hoop, man. It's the next person go. Yeah. Whatever you was practicing wasn't enough practice, so it's not gonna work out. But they need to add some hard rules to the dunk contest come next year, because after a while it just wasn't interesting.
Yeah, there's a dude right now in your local park that probably could have won that dunk contest.
That's a fact.
It was disgusting. It was an embarrassment to the culture of the dunk contest. I know Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon were somewhere just cracking up because they pretty much shut down the dunk contest probably for probably until Bronny gets into the league.
That's a fact.
I really don't know who's gonna come out and do anything. There are some great dunkers in the league, but for some reason, nobody wants to do this anymore, and I don't know what it is.
I think it's the same reason rappers don't do the rap battles as prominent rappers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at some point in your career, I guess not that you're too big for the smaller stage, but I think you lose more as a mental vantage point if you didn't perform or you didn't win that little battle. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the big names that don't do it, they might just be scared to lose on that stage when it's just them. It's like a one-on-one game. It's not a.
That's it right there.
Yeah, I mean
the fear.
The fear. That's all.
We are living in a soft generation of entertainers. Nobody wants to be challenged anymore out of fear of being ridiculed, because at least back then in the 90s, if you lost, you would only see it on ESPN and that's it.
Correct.
Now, social media will rip you apart. They'll put you in a meme. They'll do all kinds of automation and CGI to it. But this is what you signed up for.
True.
Right? Granted, you didn't sign up to be in the dunk contest, so
Correct.
I get the caveat. But this is supposed to be the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a show for the fans, the people that made you millionaires. I see you do all this incredible stuff in the game. Now you got no defender. There's no game on the line. No coach is going to get mad at you. This is the time to come out and give me everything you got. If this is what the new NBA is going to be, I'm glad I grew up in the era that I did.
Facts.
Because that means I enjoyed the last of real, raw competition in every sport, to be a little honest.
Yeah. Between the Pro Bowl with touch tackling
Yeah.
and this shit, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even know the purpose of these superstars doing things by themselves. But I did have one rule in my head that would help the next year dunk contest. How we were just saying they're scared to lose as an individual on that stage. Similar to how the the skills challenge, where it's a team of three trying to get the best score. Like, let them make a team of three for dunkers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just you losing. If you lose, y'all lost. And the bare men, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind seeing LeBron and two other people that he picked personally try to win this dunk contest, getting the best scores out of your three, and then somebody else in their three would go. It might be a little bit more interesting if it's a team versus a team dunk contest, but I just don't know if the NBA is ready to give the dunk contest award to a group versus just the one individual, which it should be. But
yeah, it's tough because you know what the one thing that these contests do is they can reward someone who's not a superstar. Like when Joe Harris won it for the Nets, he's not a superstar, but he went on a stage where everybody was looking at him and won the 3-point contest. That raises your stock.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact.
And if you got a good enough agent where you can start to throw incentives in your contract where you bring attention to yourself and to your team. Hey, listen, and I'm pretty sure they get a pretty decent prize when they win.
I hope so. I'm not sure on the benefits as far as I know with the Pro Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, if you get elected in the NFL, you get a little compensation. But I've never heard the figures on the All-Star weekend for the separate individual challenges, or even if your team wins the game.
Yeah, because it could be money that goes to maybe a charity or whatever. But but basically the All-Star game was the savior. Steph Curry is he's just incredible.
Lights out. I was hoping, because I forgot what game over the weekend it was, but they introduced a 4-point line. Might have been a celebrity game. But I was praying they didn't do that for the All-Star game, because I'm like, Steph is going to just... He's going to cheat code this shit.
They should. That would make it...
Steph can't have a 4-point line. Like, how you going to play him? Like...
You can't play him now.
That's a fact. That's a whole fact.
You can't play him now.
Yep. But he was able to scoop up the All-Star MVP, which he highly deserved.
Yeah,
it was dope to see LeBron do his little MJS kind of fadeaway to win the game for him in Akron.
Yeah,
but it was dope, man. LeBron's 5-0 with this format, and I'm not mad at him. He knows to keep picking Steph Curry. He ain't gonna lose.
He's the ultimate player coach.
Yeah.
This is a cheat code every year. He's going to pick the best team every year because he knows who he needs.
That's a fact.
You think he's a dangerous man now? Wait until he is a team owner.
Yeah. When he retires, you think he'll go straight to owner? You think they could do any coaching?
He can do whatever he wants.
That's who, by the
He
way.
can coach on the side, AAU, and then own a team because I know he wants to do that.
Yeah.
Because there's just not enough.
Yeah, it's just in him. Like he can't turn it off anyway if he wanted to.
Yep.
That'd be super good. But yeah, All-Star game, like you said, it saved that weekend. Thank God it was as good as it was. I love the format that they changed to last year with the fourth quarter being the plus 24 with Kobe. The newly revealed trophy as well. Although Kobe did win it last year, technically, they unveiled the new presentation or the new look of the new All-Star MVP trophy, with it being molded in the whole Kobe Bryant movement. But yeah, man, they got to do better for these challenges and these contests, because if this year it does not have me looking forward to next year.
Yeah.
At all. Another thing they did during the All-Star Game halftime show was they named all 75 of the greatest forwards, centers, and guards to do it. It was dope. They left MJ for last because it's funny. I was like, oh, shit, it's the guards time. They're saying then name one, name two, name three. I'm like, damn. I'm like, did Jordan come? I said, Jordan would be, he's bougie enough to mail his voice notes in, like, hey man, I couldn't make it, busy, but he was there. The GOAT showed up, and it was weird. I was curious to know some people that they presented. I don't know if you are one of the top 75 players, why you weren't available for this weekend. There should be no excuse unless you lived in Russia, but there should be no excuse as to why you wasn't in the building. Like Karl Malone, I understand he had some weird outside the line stories that he probably doesn't want to bring to the forefront, but the people with the whole gray background just waving at the screen, I was just like, unless you're dead, God bless the dead, you should be here. Hopefully next year, or it won't be next year for 75, but it was just good to see. But one thing that I did see after the list was, I guess, the greatest names that were snubbed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to ask you today, unfortunately. I'm going to run for a few names that didn't make the 75 list, that being Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, Tony Parker, Vince Carter, Alex English, Bernard King, Tracy McGrady, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Draymond Green, Paul George, and Manu Ginobili. All really, really good players, but they weren't considered one of the greatest players of the top 75.
Right.
I'm curious to know if there anybody on this list that could have swapped out with anybody in the existing 75.
I'd have to have the 75 list in front of me, because I do believe Bernard King. You can make a really good case for Bernard King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That list right there, Bernard King, to me, is probably the only one who could make a legitimate case.
Would you be willing to make a swap for Bernard King for Patrick Ewing?
No, can't do that. Can't do that. Patrick Ewing was special. I can't swap him for Bernard King. I'd have to look at the list and find somebody. That guy right there. I think Bernard could take his place. But
I'm gonna hold you to it. I'm gonna send you the list, man. I want you to give me 5 guys that probably could have been looked at with a more stern eye to see.
Paul Gasol, I agree with. Dwight Howard, I agree with. Chris Bosh, I agree with. Tony Parker, I agree with. Vince, love him to death, man, but I agree with that one. He grew up in. Listen, when you come up in the era of Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean? Ray Allen,
it's
like
tough.
Dudes that were transcendent. Paul Pierce.
It's tough.
It's hard, bro. Like,
it's tough.
You know what I mean? And sorry, Tony Parker, man, you were cool, bro, but you weren't a top 75. I'm sorry. Damn. In that era, you don't have Ginobili. They were a great team, but you put Ginobili or Tony Parker on another team, they're not making the same impact. They're not making the same impact. And that's the one thing I think people have to think about with this top 75. If you move that player to any team, Ray Allen, Carmelo Anthony, Paul Pierce, no matter where these guys went, they were influential. Even Ray Allen on the end of his career in Miami hit the biggest shot. They don't win a chip without that shot.
Yeah, the boy didn't look down.
You know what I'm saying? That's greatness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And and on a consistent basis. We can look through Ray Allen's career and find winning shot after winning shot after winning shot. I mean, the guy, he's awesome, man. And Clay, like we were speaking earlier, man, he's Steph Curry with more defense. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, you came up in the era of Steph Curry. It happened to Scotty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you play in an era where there's just somebody that just has it.
Yeah.
You're
right.
good, but this guy's great.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
It's the greatest players, not the not the goodest. That's not a word. Not the goodest players, but
And Draymond Green, man, there's a bigger conversation with him about the Hall of Fame. And I think me and you probably gonna have to save this for another episode. But they were talking about, does Draymond Green belong in the Hall of Fame? I have my reservations, and I say that to say, if Robert Horry doesn't make it, I don't think Draymond Green should make it. That's just how I feel.
I respect that, because Robert, Mr. Big Shot, he was there when a lot of teams needed him to be there, but it wasn't enough for the jacket. Of that list, is there anyone that is Hall of Fame worthy?
Oh yeah, definitely. Pau Gasol deserves to be there. I definitely think Tony Parker should get to the Hall of Fame. I believe Bernard King is in the Hall of Fame.
Gotta be.
Kyrie, Clay. I'm on the fence about Paul George and Ginobili, man.
Does Vince Carter make the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Vince goes to the Hall of Fame.
Because I'm like, listen, man, if you don't get in, I don't know what you got to do.
Yeah, I think Vince gets in.
Over? All right. That's NBA
you got the one chip with Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, you got that one. Vince, you know what I mean? If there was any last check off the list, he got the one chip, man. He's in there.
Hey, he got one, man. I'm happy for it, too, because goddamn. I got a feeling Melo won't be able to squeeze one in before it's over. But with the NFL, some cool black people news.
Yes.
Shout out to Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin.
My man.
I don't know if he stepped out on the edge, but just understood a good coach to be a good coach. But he made a statement that he was excited to hire or to obtain Brian Flores for the coaching staff. I think he's going to be, to be specific, I know he's going to be on the defensive end as an assistant coach, but I think he also had like not a supervisorial position as well on the defensive end. But I think he kind of went straight through to be of the higher ranks on the defensive assistant coaches. So he was able to give Mr. Brian Flores another shot in the league. I was super nervous for him because once you kind of make stuff like that public, kind of get shunned away, where people will feel not that you can't be trusted, but they kind of look at you as not being a team player, so to speak, when you do things like that. But I was happy he was able to get a job rather quickly with the Pittsburgh Steelers as an assistant coach, and hopefully they're gonna make good things happen again out in Pittsburgh. But I'm super happy that he was able to land a job, and this whole unfortunate fiasco in Miami didn't hinder his career going forward.
Yeah, I mean, half of the battle, man, is somebody taking a chance on somebody. And for a black coach to do it, it's great. I think every black person in a position to help another black person who's deserving should do it. But at the same time, if you're the NFL, this is what you should be doing. Granted, I agree with you. When you take legal action against a company, there's a little likelihood that you're going to get a job. So this is unique. This is a very unique situation. I was shocked. I thought it was fake news for a minute because I've never seen this happen.
Yeah, I was nervous. I didn't think it was
You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see how Brian Flores navigates this going forward. His lawsuit, I should say. And just like you said, shout out to Mike Tomlin. I still think he deserves to be a head coach, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a good pacifier on the situation as well, because if he did stay unemployed beyond this season, you start getting the Kaepernick questions. It's like, he didn't kneel down, but he did something else against the Shield. And what are they going to do now? So I am happy he was able to get a coach. And, hey, man, if I'm not mistaken, they are in need of a quarterback. So if you're going to get somebody, Kaepernick is still. I'm pretty sure he's still in
Listen,
shape.
if Mike could bring in Kaepernick, we're talking about the potential of Mike Tomlin with Brian Flores, with Kaepernick coming out on the center, with a black running back and some black elite wide receivers. This could be, this would be epic.
Yeah, it'll be
It would
dope.
be
Just to see it on
epic.
paper, it'll be dope.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they make the playoffs, I don't know if they get a Super Bowl, but they will be the people's champ in the hood for a very long time to come.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. Oh, what happened in the NCAA?
Man, listen. Juwan Howard went. Juwan Howard at a Wisconsin game. I don't. Who knows what was said? I didn't really dig too much into what happened, but at some point after the game or during the game, one of the Wisconsin coaches like runs up on Juwan, and like Juwan's trying to continue walking, and the guy's like holding Juwan up and talking to him, and then Juwan's getting in his face, and then this other coach comes out of nowhere, and he's like trying to get to Juwan,
Yeah,
and Juwan just comes over the top with an open hand.
yeah,
I don't know if he was trying to slap, mush, whatever,
yeah,
but he makes clear contact, and then at that point the student athletes are there, and now they're getting into the scuffle.
yeah.
Man, Juwan, big mistake. You set back black coaches. I can't tell you how many years, because we're talking about discipline. We're talking about understanding that your actions impact your team. These parents entrusted their child's welfare with you when you sat down and recruited them and welcomed them in to the Wolverine family, and here you are putting them in harm's way.
Yeah. Like, I know he meant no. I can't say he meant no malice. He swung his arm.
Exactly.
But it's like you said. It's a really weird position that you should put yourself or your team in, because your team is naturally going to want to defend their coach no matter what the situation is.
Absolutely, yeah.
But when both teams have coaches and both coaches into it, like you said, the whole team is going to want to defend their head coach, as they should. But I'm a little happy that the punishment was lenient, because I'm not gonna lie, him being a black coach, I thought they were gonna throw the book at him.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't get me wrong, what's his name? Is it Phil Knight? No, that's Nike.
Oh, the one from Indiana that
Yes.
was Phil Knight.
He threw chairs on the goddamn
Mm-hmm.
mid game. I don't remember his punishments. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been very outspoken, very rude to his own players, and his antics on the court. Not that they were brushed under the rug, but I just don't recall any heavy penalty. It might have been. It had to be penalized or fined to some extent, but they just didn't seem very substantial to stop from what he was doing. He still went to the Hall of Fame. He still just kept on moving along. He even announced a few games after the fact once he retired.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of something. It was just part of his coaching style,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of just looked over like, oh, it's okay. It's what he does. It's not a big deal. But I just don't understand. I'm happy, like I said, that he had the lenient punishment. They canceled the rest of the season. I don't know if it involves the playoffs or not. We will see as March continues to roll down if he will be on the sidelines, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Highly doubt
Yeah,
it.
man. I mean, for me personally, I get it. In the heat of the moment, shit can happen. It's happened to me. But there's a bigger purpose at the time, and I agree with you. I think this was very lenient. If they would have threw the book at him, he would have deserved it, because, we're trying to teach these athletes not just to be good basketball players, but be honorable men, especially black men. So when they see you act like that, it almost makes it hard to hear you in practice or in life tell them, you got to have your composure. You got to know when to act a certain way, and you remember your image. You want the NBA to look at you in a certain way, and then you do something like that. So I definitely think it was lenient. I don't know how they're going to approach it if Michigan is in the conference tournament, and then if they make it past that into the NCAA tournament, I don't know how they're going to approach it. I think they're still evaluating it, trying to give it time before they fully say, you know what, this is how we feel.
Yeah, but hopefully he's back for next season. and he just has it all together in that regard. But it's funny. The next time at the end of any game, if he is on, the other coach will be looking at him like, you know what I mean? kind of fake throwing his dukes up. You know what I mean? But it will be a sight to watch. And I hope he does get to that point where he could get to the end of a game and, you know, go down that line as a head coach once again.
Yeah.
For anything happening before the 15th?
Definitely some March Madness, man. I can't wait. Hopefully this BA2 don't come and be a fucking ruiner.
I like the Padooch. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hopefully in New York, rolling back mandates. Hopefully Kyrie can get him for the playoffs this year. I don't know anymore, man. It might happen, might not, but we'll see. If he's a Net fan, it'll happen.
Yeah, but outside of the March Madness, man, it's Women's History Month, so I know there's going to be tons of events. I'm actually hosting a panel with some executive leaders at our job. Can't wait to talk to them. Powerful women with great journeys and great stories. But yeah, on my side, man, that's it. How about you?
Me and my little sister's birthday on the 11th. That's going to be happening.
Facts.
God, she's not. I keep calling her little sister, but she's not. She's
younger.
Far from. She's just younger. I'm sorry, she's just a younger sister.
Yeah.
But shouts to Chris. Birthday coming through. Please, she's in her dirty 30s already, but she will continue that journey with a little bit of luggage. And I'll be disrespectful, but my wife's best friend Onyx, her and my sister share the same exact birthday and year. Like it's weird. But shouts to both of them who'll be celebrating the birthday later this month.
No doubt.
Outside of that, man, I think I'm good, man. I ain't got nothing really else to go by. But
so listen, people, we are glad you came here. Listen, if you're following us, the merch promotion is out there, guys.
Man. Get the
See
shirts.
my man. Got the long sleeve on today. If you checked out the last episode, we had the hoodies on.
Get out here, man.
You know what I'm saying? We got more stuff coming. Shout out to the people who've already purchased, man. Remember, when you get it, tag us in it, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all for spending some time with us. Remember, before you leave, subscribe.
Yes.
Hit up the comments. Follow us on social media. Ken Kapnick, Senor Lee, you already know what it is, man. It is now that time.
Mm-hmm.
You are now released back into your regularly scheduled programming. Corporate life, parental life, entrepreneurship. Whatever it is that you do, we salute you. I'm Senor Lee.
I'm Ken Kapnick.
See you back next pay week when we lock back in to a free state of mind.
Yeah.
I look real good today.
My name called that back when you see me, I don't want that boy wild. That boy is wild. That's my nigga though. He makes some good tracks. That boy crazy. That boy. Yeah.